Hello and welcome to Tales from the Backlog. I am Steve Boshear and I will be your game master for this evening as we play Dresden Files Accelerated. And with me to my left, there, sort of, is, well, let's introduce ourselves in a circle here.
Starting with Mia. Okay.
Yeah, always.
Hi, thank you. My name is Mia. Tonight I'll be playing Arya Sabato, a discharged soldier who has come up to the city from Camp Pendleton. She is a clued-in mortal and will be working as assistants to the other two in our groups. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Jason. I'm playing Pella Satchel, another mortal, but of a more criminal bent. Pella is a thuggish urban barbarian who does crimes for a living, and she likes it that way.
Muted.
I turned it off and it turned back on. I don't know. That's weird. So I'm Kenny. I'll be playing Sean Crenshaw, who is also a mortal. He was clued into the existence of the supernatural at a young age when he and his friends formed a squad to take on supernatural monsters as a kid. Saved his hometown, and then has continued the fight as several of his friends have retired or been killed. And so, yeah, so he's now in his 30s and still fighting monsters.
All right. Well, as mentioned, we're playing Dresden Files Accelerated tonight. This is a game that I played once before on the Friday night stream, but it's a first for the others here. It's based on the Fate Accelerated system, which I know Jason is familiar with, and maybe, yeah. Hasn't played, but is familiar with. So that's where we're at. So if you are not familiar with the Dresden Files, it's a great series of books. It is also a TV show. I watched one episode of the TV show, and I highly recommend the books. I know it has fans. You know, it has fans. That's fine. But read the books. And Optimat Prime in the chat. Could not be with us tonight on camera, but we hope you feel better. Yes. Anyway, go read Dresden. It's a great urban fantasy story, and he is by far the superior wizard named Harry.
There's another one?
What's that?
I said there's another one?
Yeah,
there was that one from that troll movie from like the 80s with Michael Moriarty.
Oh, yeah. We all know exactly what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody. All right, guys. So the three of you, as mortals who are aware of and opposing the dangerous aspects of the supernatural world, are part of a national network of such people as yourselves. Low-level magical practitioners. Yes?
You're apparently echoing. Sorry.
Beyond echoing.
Okay, I'm going to put headphones in. That helps.
Why would I be echoing? Thanks, Matt. I assume that is better, yeah? I'll wait for that, but I think it's better. Okay, yeah, I accidentally had a second mic on.
As you do. Sorry.
Cool. Anyway, so you guys, as mortals who are aware of the supernatural world, are part of the Paranet. This is a network of people created by Harry Dresden for the purpose of coming together and defending themselves against the things that go bump in the night. People who don't have access to the level of power that White Council wizards would have, but who are visible enough to be targets themselves. So in this capacity, the three of you are headed to a meeting. It is at your friend Matt's apartment. Well, it is at Matt's apartment. Whether or not Matt is a personal friend of any of you is up to you. But Matt often hosts these things because Matt is a low-level magical practitioner himself, and with help from a few other such people, has managed to place significant wards on his apartment. Nothing that would stop a serious, heavy hitter of the magical world, but enough to keep you all safe, more or less, while you're having your meetings together. However, when you arrive at Matt's place, the three of you, arriving roughly the same time, discover that the door is broken down. The wall of the hallway opposite the door is charred as from fire. And the frame of the door is dripping wet. You guys know that the wards put in place here would have blasted any intruder with both fire and ice. So you are assuming that the wards functioned but did not stop whatever broke down the door, because none of your Paranet friends are in there. Oh, by the way, if I didn't mention it, tonight's game was taking place in the city of Los Angeles, because that's where I live, and I know about it.
Which part of LA are we in?
Yeah, where is Matt's apartment?
Yeah, Matt's apartment is in the like the Silver Lake district.
Oh, okay. That's it's still probably drive.
So did we take the 10 or the 5 or the 405?
Well, depending on where you're coming from, you take the 5, the 5 or the 101. But it's kind of in a shitty spot for that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Trappy. +2. Welcome. Yeah, so the directions portion of the evening being concluded, what do you guys do with the door broken down?
Do we see any movement inside? I mean, or have we already entered the apartment?
It's up to you. I'm starting you off in the hallway.
Pella wants to examine the doorway. I mean, she's used to breaking into places like this. I mean, maybe not places with these wards, but she's used to breaking into places, and she wants to see if she can't get a clue as to what sort of means of entry were used, if she thinks she can do that.
Okay, what approach would you like to take to do this?
Can she use her focus to really zoom in there, use her criminal experience to just try and just suss that out?
Yeah.
Take some time with it?
Absolutely. So give me a roll and add focus.
And Arya will prepare with her handgun to do a room clearing, the sweep maneuver.
Awesome. So I got a -1 on my roll.
Okay.
So +1.
All right. So, just a second. Just pulling something up here. So you don't really understand the specifics because the destruction wrought by the wards on the apartment has obliterated some of the evidence.
That fits.
Yeah. However, you can see from the door itself, which is in the apartment, that whatever struck this thing hit the door hard enough that it was already inside the threshold when the blasts of energy went out. So whatever hit this door hit it so hard that whether or not the attacker was obliterated didn't have any bearing on the fact that the door was already inside after the attack.
All right.
Just so I can get my bearing, like in types of apartment, are we like in the traditional LA apartment where like there's like a central pool or courtyard and like all the apartments face outwards, kind of like a hotel, or is this like a interior hallway?
This is an interior hallway.
Gotcha. All right.
The apartment itself, you can see, has windows facing a busy street. You know that from having been in there before. If you were to go in there and turn right, there'd be a bathroom, and if you were to turn left, there'd be a bedroom. It's a pretty small place.
Well, I want to give the door frame a good knock with my crowbar just to see if there's any residual warding left.
Nothing happens.
Okay.
You guys, since you have meetings here semi-regularly, you would be aware of how the wards work. A low-level magical talents, such as our members of the Paranet, would not be able to build something super strong. So this was a one-and-done, one-shot sort of ward. Having already gone off, it doesn't have any juice left.
Okay.
Now, here's another bit of world lore that pretty much any clued-in person would know. Wards on a home are typically built on what's called a threshold. Any place where people live and make their home has a magical barrier at the door called a threshold, and this is the origin of vampires needing permission to come in. Any supernatural being cannot cross a threshold without some of its power being stripped away, unless they're invited by someone who lives there. A mortal can walk right through a threshold. In fact, a common test to see if you're dealing with a regular person or a doppelganger is to just step back, not invite them in, and see if they can come in. For major heavyweight powers, this is not a big problem because if half their power gets stripped away on the way through the threshold, they can still kill you. But most creatures of the supernatural would be kept out by a threshold, depending on how strong it is. An old family home that's had 7 generations living in it is going to have a much more powerful threshold than an apartment full of 20-somethings who are going to move out in 6 months. So that also, the threshold itself could have stopped something, potentially.
That's something strong enough blew down the door, or triggered the threshold when they attempted to cross it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
from in the hall.
Just to clarify, even though the wards, which are spells that were cast, are gone, the thresholds should still be there because it's still someone's home.
Right. Roger.
Yeah.
Even if the person is dead, or does the threshold disappear if you die?
No, it does not disappear if you die. However, how strong it is questionable.
Okay. From our vantage point in the hallway, can we see anything beyond just the blasted door across the room, or?
Well, the door is leaning against the arm of a couch, which is what it hit on the way in. And other than just some items in disarray from the force of whatever knocked it in, nothing seems to be out of place that you can tell from the door.
I'm curious. Can I hear anything like noise from any other apartments? Just like regular apartment noise?
It's the location of this building is at the intersection of a couple of major streets with a lot of traffic. So unless the neighbors are being particularly noisy, you wouldn't be able to hear them anyway. So you don't pick up anything right now.
Okay.
All right.
What time of day is it?
I'm prepared to enter and clear the apartment.
Okay,
with my
yeah, you
gun.
said that earlier. Are you going in now?
Yeah, and Sean's gonna follow, kind of doing like his imitation of military police tactics, but like not really doing it well. But he's gonna
All right.
try and cover Arya as she goes in.
Okay. So you guys enter without incident. You are not struck by anything. Turning to your left and kind of U-turning it, you see the kitchen. Just straight left is the bedroom, like I mentioned, and to your right is the bathroom. The doors to both are open, and from what you can see, there's nobody here.
It seems to be safe. I don't know. You can peer out a window, look down in the courtyard, or anything like that.
The window faces the street, and
No,
you
no
can't
trace
see
of
out
anybody at all.
No, but you have only checked the main room. The sort of living room, dining area, and kitchen are all kind of one room, with the bedroom and bathroom off to the sides. So you haven't been in either of those places yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look in the bathroom. I want to I'm assuming there's not a ton there, but I kind of want to go through the medicine cabinet, see if there's anything suspicious.
When you get to the bathroom and enter, you see on the wall, the back wall of the shower, where it would have been blocked, where the door would have blocked your view from the living room, there is a very large spray of blood on the wall.
Okay, well that's not suspicious shit in the cabinet, but it's definitely suspicious. Hey, there's blood in here.
Sean will just roll in, like as if he's a cop, sort of casing the joint, and peek his head in.
Do cops case the joint?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just sort of trying to like checking corners, looking around to see, if there's anything out of the ordinary, and then he'll sort of step forward, taking his sort of wooden stake, and he'll use it. Is it like there's a shower curtain or something?
It's like glass sliding doors, but they're open.
Yeah. Oh, and he'll kind of like use his wooden stake to kind of push the door open further and peek in to see if he can see what caused the blood.
Yeah, you can't see anything still here that would have caused it. But you do see that it looks like someone kind of smeared it after it was up there.
Did it say anything? Is it like, did it look like someone tried to like write something, or was it more like blood splatter than someone put like a handprint on it?
Why don't you give me a check to see if you can figure this out?
Okay.
Let's have, I suggest intellect on it.
All right.
I'll be at the threshold looking back over my shoulder and kind of like wincing, and each time Sean does something that is technically not correct.
So I have a 2 in intellect, but I rolled 2 negative fates and 1 positive, so that'd be a result of 1, I believe.
Yeah, that's how that comes out.
Okay.
So, let me see your sheet. Hold on a minute. Oh, I was
Just
already
a
looking
bad-
at it. There it is. Yeah, I think you did well enough. This looks like someone tried to lick it off.
Ugh.
Ew.
Yeah.
It's right. Ugh.
So I'm immediately thinking vampire or some sort of blood. Yeah. All right. Sean's gonna like back out of the bathroom and start looking, very cautiously towards the bedroom because that's the one place we haven't looked yet.
Okay. So,
I'm sorry. I was gonna say I'll put a hand on his shoulder. It's like, let me go first.
Yeah. I'll cover you.
I'll casually stroll after.
okay. So in the bedroom, you find 3 corpses piled on the bed.
Ooh.
There's no blood in here, just the dead bodies.
Do they
Ooh.
do they show any puncture wounds? Did they bled out at all on the bed?
There's if you want to get close and really get under them and look, yes, there is a little bit of blood on the bed that will have leaked out of their bodies, and yes, they have numerous wounds on them, large wounds on the neck, face, defensive wounds on the arms, and the chest. Furthermore, all 3 of them are known to you guys as fellow members of your Paranet.
Mm-hmm.
Cell.
Cell?
I guess. Yeah, cell.
Matt, was Matt one of them, or is this 3 other members?
Matt is not one of them.
Is there a closet in this bedroom that we haven't just? Sean wants to make sure there's no one hiding.
Okay. Yeah, you can thoroughly check the closet, under the bed, any other potential hiding places that are easy to spot. You find no one.
Okay.
Now, your cell meetings here can typically get up to about 10 people. So with yourselves and the 3 dead bodies, that's 6.
Mm-hmm.
Matt's not here, and a few others are missing with him.
Mm.
And not everyone attends every meeting, so there's more than 10 people
Right.
connected, but yeah.
Yeah, Sean's gonna look back towards like the front door area and kind of look for, everyone kind of has like a place where they drop keys, wallet, stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
so, Sean's going to kind of look around and see, is there any sort of noticeable place where Matt would have left maybe car keys, some sort of hint that, hey, did Matt flee with the car or take his wallet or...
There is a set of keys on the counter where someone could reach it, just having come into the room, put it on the counter, from still outside the kitchen. Just reach over and
Wow.
grab it. Yeah. You don't know on site whether they're Matt's keys, but that seems like where someone who lived there would put their keys.
Put 'em.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna grab the keys, just so we can maybe check out the car later.
Okay.
Hey, like Sean's gonna kind of look to Arya, like, what do we do? Like,
Are there any cell records that we kept here, a file cabinet or a hidden stash of anything?
Well, the only thing that you would know of is Matt's computer, which might have had the names of other paranetters in it somewhere. And looking around, you can't find it. You know that Matt used a laptop mostly. There's a desk where he puts it to work. You know, you've seen it on there. It's not there right now.
You mentioned the door was laying against the couch. Sean's going to kind of go over and peer underneath the door. Like, is there someone stuck under the door? Is there a backpack under the door? Something on the couch?
No.
No, nothing.
It's just a busted door leaning against the arm of a couch.
I'd like to investigate the desk, see if there's any like loose papers with any writing on it, recently dated material.
Yeah, you don't find anything of interest. There's lots of random scraps that have notes to self written on them, but nothing that catches your eye as being relevant to the situation.
Hopefully Matt was able to escape with his laptop. Otherwise, our cells may be compromised. The identities of us all.
Huh. And there's no other note, like the windows. Can we check to see if the windows were?
The windows are intact and closed, as they usually are because of the traffic noise.
Yeah, but no blood on them or anything like that. It looks like someone wounded tried to get out.
No. You're on the 3rd floor, so they wouldn't go out the window unless, you know, there was no other way.
Right, which is kind of what I was assuming. Like, if they were attacked by vampires, like if they didn't go out the front, then the only other way out of this building would have been desperation, jumping out the window.
Have any of the neighbors started to mill about outside in the hallway? Do we know?
Actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I am going to be adding an aspect to this scene.
Ooh.
You guys are now in a place that is going to be attracting attention from the locals. It's, like I said, it's an indoor hallway, so people aren't going to see this unless they happen to be walking down this hallway, but some people will be. So looking out now, you see a young woman, maybe in her mid-20s, looking in the window and saying, or looking in the door from the hallway and saying, "Oh my gosh, what happened here?"
Sean's gonna walk forward and like quickly flash his dad's retired badge, but like, you know, he's gonna use guile, or is it not guile? Flair.
Okay.
You know, and sort of summoning, you know, the knowledge of his dad detective and say, "Excuse me, ma'am, did you hear any noise? We're canvassing the scene for witnesses."
She said, "No, I just got home. You're the police?"
Ma'am, we're looking for our friend Matt. Have you seen him recently?
Your friend Matt?
Yeah, he was working for us on a case.
Okay. I live next door. I see him not every day, but frequently. I don't talk to him. We're not friends. But what happened to his door? What happened to the hallway?
Ma'am, that's what we're trying to discern right now. So, please return to your apartment if you have nothing further to add to our investigation.
Okay. Do you want me to call you if I see anything, or?
No, ma'am. Just if you see anything, just call the local police station.
Are you Are you the police?
Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to back away. And then he's just gonna turn around and
She actually does leave hesitantly. Like, she
Yeah.
realizes whether the answer is yes or no, she's in trouble. So
Right,
she's
right.
going to leave.
right.
Like,
And-
uniforms will be here soon. We should probably make haste and get out of here as well.
Yeah. I got Matt's keys, or someone's keys. Let's go see if we can quickly check out, get some clue. Maybe.
Head down to the garage. Does this place have a garage?
Yes, it has a garage under the building.
Okay.
All right. So we'll go down and see if it's Matt's car keys or not.
Okay. Well, you get to the stairwell pretty easily. And you find when you get there to the garage level that the door is locked.
All right. How many keys are on this keychain?
Quite a few, but no, I mean, not an insane amount. It's not like a groundskeeper, but like 5 different keys.
Hmm.
If you try
Alright.
them, you will quickly learn that one of them does work. So this
Okay.
keychain does belong to someone who has access at this building.
Okay. So we'll unlock the door and head down to the garage.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if any of you know Matt's car. I mean, how often do you know what other people's cars look like? But
We might not know his car, but we have his keys.
It is the key fob.
yeah,
Like,
fair enough.
bloop, bloop.
And even if it doesn't have a beep boop on it,
Yeah.
it's probably got the make on it.
True.
Yeah, you're right. So we'll say you're able to identify Matt's car pretty easily using your logic minds, and
I mean, assuming it's not a Prius. But
well, I told you this takes place in L.A.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Assuming it's not a Prius.
Yeah, it's a silver Prius, as they all are.
Yeah.
No, it's actually a white SUV,
Mm.
a small one.
Perfect for city driving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, I'm assuming, again, since the fuzz is probably going to get here soon, going to open the doors and start looking around for computer, laptop, any sort of clue of maybe like receipt or something which would give us an idea of like where would Matt have gone.
You
In
do
a
not
hurry.
find anything that seems related. The car isn't super neat. There's like drive-through receipts and things like that. You don't find the computer. There's like some boxes of stuff that Matt uses in his job in the back, but there's nothing relevant to the Paranet or where he might be right now. However, Pella, as you are watching Sean go through all this, 1 second. I need to look up the name that you gave me, the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend.
Ruida.
Okay, Ruida. She calls you. Your phone rings.
Hang up.
Okay. 3 seconds later, she calls again.
Hang up.
Stella, would you like me to answer that for you?
She sends you a text that says, "Please, I need to talk to you. It's important."
I call her back. Girl, you sent me off. What?
George's house is gone.
What?
Okay, so you know that the leader of a group of local wizards, he is White Council, and he has actually a weird little sort of training house full of apprentices that live with him. He's their landlord and their instructor. This person is named George, and as a White Council wizard, he's very powerful. He's about 500 years old and doesn't look a day over 40. She has just informed you that his house is gone.
What happened? Like, what happened to it? What did they do to it?
It's been, I don't know. It's like blown up or something.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just coming over to hang out with Charlie, and it's gone.
Like, exploded, gone.
I guess so. I don't understand why nobody's here. There's no fire department. There are no police. Nothing. I talked to Charlie earlier today, and she said she was home.
Yeah. Well,
So you know, you've not been there that many times, but you know roughly where George's house is, and
yeah.
like most
Or
things
was.
but like most things in LA in the daytime, it's about 45 minutes away.
Give or take, depending on how you take, on where you drive, but
Yeah.
yeah. Well, do you want me to come over and like do something?
You're at the Paranet meeting, right?
Yeah, well, we're leaving Matt's because Matt's ain't really here.
What, like this the
Like,
apartment
the door's
building?
blown in. My voice starts to rise a bit. Calm that shit down. The door's blown in, and there's dead bodies on the bed.
Yeah, and
Blood.
Sean, like, half
Blood in the-
listening.
Blood in the shower,
Oh my God.
and we're checking out Matt's car right now. It's kind of ostentatious for inner city living, but whatever. But he doesn't seem to be there. It was just three randos.
Yo,
But we haven't seen any cops yet either, and it's like that seems like it would attract some notice right quick.
who you talking to, Pella? Who you talking to? Yeah, Sean's kind of like peeking over.
No one.
Like, well, why are you telling him about what's going on? This is, like Sean like heard only half the conversation, right? So just tracking, describing the scene. It's like, who is it? Who are you talking to, man?
Yeah, no, give me a minute. Give me a minute.
You may not have a minute.
Yeah, as Arya says that, you begin to hear the sirens.
Ah, well, love, apparently the cops are coming. So we need to GTFOH right now. Should we come to you?
I don't know. If George's house isn't safe, where is safe?
Together is safe right now. So let's work from there, right?
Did the 3 dead bodies tell you that?
No, the 3 live bodies here are telling me that.
All right, well, hurry up. I'll be around the corner at the coffee shop.
Say, let's meet at a neutral
All right,
place.
we'll be there soon.
Sean's already like closing up the
Stay
car
chill.
door and heading out of the garage, like not waiting for the popo to get here.
So, do you both know George?
Yeah, the Paranet
Yeah.
would know George because
Yeah.
a White Council wizard is a significant power in the supernatural
Yeah.
community. And if there's
Yeah.
one living in your area, the Paranetters would know.
Okay. Well, apparently George's apprentice's place is gone. Not sure if it's exploded or just gone. But we need to get the fuck out of here. So,
Who?
did you all drive? Like, let's walk. Did
Yeah.
you all drive?
Yeah. I assumed I drove. I'll be willing to drive as we're running to the car or cars. I don't, or if we drove separately. Sean's gonna inquire, like, Sean's mind is racing and he's thinking, okay, so if George's place is attacked, Matt's place was attacked, the laptop's missing, like, Sean's like, who were you talking to, and were they at an address that may have been in the Paranet? Like,
Are you asking me this while we're
Yeah.
walking to our
Yeah.
cars?
yeah,
Okay, Steve.
Yeah.
Would George's apprentice's place have been a location that Matt would have specifically known about?
Probably. George's apprentice lived in George's house. He rented out rooms to
Okay.
them.
Okay.
So it's all of their house.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
literally George's house.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Not just a house that George owns.
Right.
Yeah.
And so because of the fact that not only was George here, but several other wizard level powers lived here, who were in training, the wards on that place would have been orders of magnitude above Matt's apartment.
Yeah.
By like just incalculably better wards. So it's pretty scary to think what could take down George's house.
Well, that's Pella's thinking, spinning off from what Sean's, like, what she thinks Sean's thinking is, did someone, like, would someone potentially have gotten that location from Matt? Or would they have potentially gotten Matt's location from that?
Those are both good questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't really have any way of knowing what Matt did or
No,
did
right.
not have on his computer.
Right.
Yeah.
You do know that there's no way there was a computer at George's house.
Yeah.
You know what? I got a silly question. We got Matt's phone number, right?
Yeah.
Beep, beep, boop. I just dialed Matt's, I just hit Matt's contact on my phone.
It rings from inside the glove box.
Cool. Yeah. Grab that.
Yeah, and check the recent calls to see if he's got any recent texts or calls from the last
Well, no,
day.
we're grabbing that, and then we'll walk in.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be in this garage when the popo arrives.
Yeah, Sean will hand Arya the phone to check it out as they're booking it back to the car.
All right.
She shouts
Arya,
shotgun
you
on the
drive
way
yourself?
What was that?
there. Say
Arya.
shotgun on the way there. Sorry. We're talking over each other.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Jason?
Because I'm kind of inclined to, I mean, I know I make a big stink of, strength and numbers and all that, but I kind of want to grab my old Gremlin hatchback and just say, follow me.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Arya, do you have any sort? I see your intellect is 0. Do you have any sort of aspects or stunts that would help you unlock someone else's phone?
No, actually.
All right. Well, then, you can't get in.
I'll have to hand this to one of our more tech-savvy individuals. He's got a PIN code lock on it.
Well, I guess if Arya's been playing with a phone as we walk to the car, Sean will just look to Arya, toss her the keys, and put out a hand expecting the phone.
Okay.
And I'll ride shotgun while she drives.
What kind of car do you drive, Sean?
Sean probably drives a really beat up 1992 Honda Accord that is just chugging along. It's a workhorse. Seen better days.
You should have let me drive tonight, Sean. But yeah, I'll be more than happy to drive if you mess with the phone.
Okay. I'm going to give the phone the locked aspect.
Ooh.
More concerned about gas mileage. I should have brought my Mustang.
So yeah, if you guys are following Pella, you can get down to George's house in Hawthorne pretty easily. And
well, on the way, Steve.
Yeah.
Pella's gonna put her phone on speaker and she's gonna call her ex-girlfriend back.
Okay. But you're in different cars, so being on speaker doesn't help them hear.
No, but it helps me drive with both hands on the wheel
safely
and still be able to manipulate the stick shift
okay.
without having a phone in my hand.
Understood. All right, so you call back Ruita. She does answer.
Wait, she does answer?
She does. She says, hello?
Okay.
Are you coming?
Girl. Yeah, no, we're on our way. You're just around the corner from his house?
Yeah. I'm at the Starbucks.
So, Steve, out of character, what kind of fucking house is George living in?
It's an old one-story tract house, but it's one of those tracts that has been around for a few decades. So a lot of the houses have been modified from their original layouts. They don't all look the same from the outside, but no,
okay.
Yeah, but you know, it's a tract that was probably built in the 50s, and it's
old but not big.
It's not big. It's not big.
Okay.
It's a small one-story house. Yeah, it probably has like 4 bedrooms, but they're all on one floor.
Okay. Yeah. So, what do you mean it's gone? Like
I went there and it was just rubble. And this may sound weird, but I didn't notice at first. I drove past the place a couple times trying to find the house. But then when I double checked the address, I went there and it was just gone. The address is painted on the curb, but there's some of the frame of the house still standing, but there's just rubble all over the ground and charred, blackened wood and smoke coming up.
Well, girl, you were the brains of our relationship. Like, did you get any kind of vibe off this shit?
I don't
know.
Other
than it just didn't seem like it. Other than it didn't seem out of the ordinary.
If I had to guess, there's some kind of spell that prevents you from noticing weird stuff. The question is, was that spell cast by George to stop people from noticing the wizards living in his place? Or was that spell cast by whoever destroyed the house? Or did George destroy the house?
Yeah, these are all amazing questions. And, I mean, Look, you know me. We've known each other for a while now. You know, I'm not really the think it through type. So, did anything else seem out of the ordinary there? Or,
More out of the ordinary than the house being hit by a bomb?
I mean, yeah. Was anyone suspiciously gawking at it?
Just me.
All right. Well, we're on our about how much longer do you think we've got?
I
on this
mean,
drive?
if it depends on how long into the drive you called her, but we're going to shift over to Sean Crenshaw and
Yeah.
Aria to see. Sean, you were going to try and break into the phone, yeah?
Intellect, right?
Yeah.
I got a 2.
In what way are you planning to apply your intellect to break into someone's phone?
Well, I'm going to try and think of, favorite sports teams, like conversations that I had with Matt in the past, having scanned his apartment, like any movie posters, obvious references of little kitsch stuff that would have, shown like, was he a Monty Python fan, or was he an LA Kings fan, or, some sort of thing. Was he a Dresden fanboy or something? So,
Yeah, so you try a number of things like that, but to break into someone else's phone without knowing the passcode, I don't think 2 is good enough. You don't get in. In fact, you get locked out for 5 minutes.
crap.
While you guys are driving, is there anything else either of you want to do?
Yeah, I don't know if there's, because Sean, what Sean's thinking about, El Tari's like, George's house went like, what address did you give Matt? Like, should we be worried about our place being attacked too?
I really don't know. Don't know. You didn't have any luck with the phone, I take it.
No, I can't think of what his password could be. Dresden fanboy didn't work, so I tried with both an I and a Y. Neither of them worked. Unless you can think of something that would have been in.
I don't know. Is he a fan of like the Lakers? Maybe a couple of his favorite players' jersey numbers.
Well, I'm locked out, so I don't know. I'll get probably a few more guesses.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of like how tech savvy Matt was. Like, was Matt the kind of guy that left like 1, 2, 3, 4 as the passcode?
No, he wasn't.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying here, but I'm getting a suggestion from the chat from Matt saying, "Try 1, 2, 3, 4."
No meta help.
Try password.
Interloper.
Hey, how about this, Matt? Why don't you type your phone passcode into the passport?
We'll know for sure it's the
we
right
know for
code.
sure.
Okay.
It's okay. People delete it.
Yeah, I will do that I promise.
You can change it at the end of the night.
All right. Well, you guys arrive to the area. Kenny and Mia, I mean, Sean and Aria, role play. You are not able to find George's house.
Well, Steve,
Yeah?
specifically, if they're following me,
Okay.
I'm going to that Starbucks first.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. We did say they were following you. So, yeah,
Yeah.
you guys arrive at the Starbucks, and Ruida is inside, sitting alone at a table.
I'm going to go order a caramel macchiato with almond milk while Pella goes to talk to whoever he needs to.
Okay, well, as we walk in, I just, I say, guys, just be chill. It's my ex. Just be chill. And you're probably not sure if she's really talking to you or if she's talking to herself.
When have I not been chill, Pella?
So-
Hoorah.
So
I'm going to be chilling with my iced caramel macchiato in a second, so...
Well, it's going to take more than a second. It's Starbucks.
yeah.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah, so Ruida is sitting at the table. She starts to get up when she sees you come in. When she sees all three of you, she looks, hard to say, a mixture of relief and fear. But she sits down and waits for you.
Yeah, I sit down. I'm not ordering anything.
And Arya, are you sitting down as well?
I will kind of take up a guard position at another table to watch him from a distance.
Okay.
Keep an eye on out the door and windows.
So she leans to you, Pella, and says, Matt's place was broken into?
I mean, if you could call it broken into, I mean, his door was in his living room. That feels that feels a few steps up from being broken into.
Who was killed? Who were the bodies? I didn't tell you that. I just told you that they were people you knew from the Paranet.
Oh, well, Pella wasn't really paying attention.
Okay.
So she's actually going to kind of turn. She turns to where Arya's sitting. Looks over to Sean. Yeah, did you recognize those bodies?
He says in Starbucks.
Yeah, she says.
She says.
Starbucks.
Apologies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys did recognize the bodies. Their names aren't significant to the story. You can name them whatever you want, but they're people that you know from the cell.
Yeah.
They're people that you might have expected to be at the meeting.
Yeah. So I mean, it was so and so. Who's a what's-its and what's their name?
Yeah, that's
William
who it
was one of them. Come on.
Definitely.
William, yeah, William and his two brothers.
Carolynn,
Bill and
Yeah,
Yeah. I was
Bill.
thinking the same thing.
William, Billiam, and Jilliam.
It's my cousin Bob.
Yeah, they're dead, guys. What are we gonna do? So Ruida says, so whatever it was that knocked down Matt's door was powerful enough to get inside, past the wards, past the thresholds, kill 3 people, and kidnap Matt?
I mean, his phone was in his car. I don't know if that's where he keeps it. His keys were in his place, so we're assuming he was there. But I mean, we're assuming, and I'm at this point. I'm really I'm trying to be disinclined to make an ass out of me and Aang.
Okay. Normally, what I would say to do in this situation is call the White Council. But the only way I know to call the White Council is George.
And the only other person who would know would be Matt.
Well, yeah, Matt had George's number.
Yeah.
By the way, would Aria and Sean know my ex-girlfriend?
Yes, because she would also have been part of the Paranet. You two
Okay.
having broken up, maybe you alternated meetings, but
Okay.
but yeah, she would be known to you guys.
Introductions are not in order then.
Yeah.
Right.
But having seen like ordnance explosions, I wouldn't mind seeing George's land to see if it looks like an actual explosion or if something just erased him from existence.
Okay.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, and sorry, what's Pel's girlfriend's name again?
Ruida.
Carla? Ruida. Yeah. Ruida, like, do you have another place you can stay? Did you give your address to Matt for the Paranet?
I don't think Matt's ever been over to my place. I don't think there was any reason to give him my address, but if you think someone hit Matt to find us?
I don't know, but I would just say if you've got somewhere safe, family, friends you can stay at the night, I'd probably go crash on someone's couch just to be safe.
It's a good idea. I will.
And if you have any wooden stakes, I'd grab them. Garlic, crosses.
You think it's Black Court?
It could be. The way the bodies were drained of blood makes me think that it was vampires of some type.
But they're so close to Griffith Park there.
Mm-hmm.
What if it was the pack? Did it look like vampire wounds?
They looked like there were bites on the neck and drained of blood. Someone licked blood off of a wall.
All right. Well, listen, I don't think I can go back there again, but I'm gonna stay here, call some friends, find a place to stay, and then try and get inside someone's wards before nightfall.
Yeah, I'd recommend that. And just out of character, when she said pack, she was referring to like, is it like the Red Court vampire?
No, the pack is a small conclave of werewolves that are known to live in the area of Griffith Park.
Gotcha.
And they generally don't randomly attack people, and it's believed that they live near the park so that they can take wolf form and go running without doing it in the middle of the city.
Are they known to be aggressive though, or they just sort of keep to themselves?
Keeping your distance has been a successful strategy for the Paranet so far.
Gotcha.
They're not friendly, but they're not the big threat in this area.
Right.
Black Court vampires hold a lot of sway.
Okay.
And kind of that sort of Griffith Park, Silver Lake-ish area is a little bit of a neutral zone between this small organization of werewolves and the rest of LA that is controlled by the Black Court.
Okay. So Sean's thinking more vampires.
Okay.
At least that's my guess. But
Are they vulnerable to things like garlic
Yes.
in this?
And that
world?
is
Okay.
that is what clued her in that Sean was thinking it's Black Court, because there are other types of vampires. There's the Red Court and the White Court and the Jade Court, but the ones that tend to be the most vulnerable to the classic vampire stuff are the Black Court. In fact, that is so true that they've been almost eradicated in most of the world. But in LA, nobody believes in anything, and it is in fact mentioned several times in the Dresden novels that when Bram Stoker's book came out, the Black Court just died en masse because the list of ways to kill vampires is in that book, and all of a sudden everyone knew what to do.
It's like it was a White Court sponsored guide for killing them.
Perhaps. Nonetheless, they somehow hold sway in Los Angeles. Nobody's been able to pin down any sort of power structure or headquarters or anything, but they're here, and everyone knows it.
Yeah, that was just. Let's see. When you are in pursuit. All right. I'm going to use, and I haven't done this before. So while Pella is talking to her ex, and while he's waiting for his caramel macchiato, he's gonna get on his phone and call up his good buddy Edgar Frog, a very famous vampire hunter.
Edgar Frog, yeah.
Yeah, that he's heard about, and they've swapped stories of their early exploits, and call him. And I guess this is you're an associate of Loose Confederation of Hunters. Once per session, when you're in pursuit, you can use an overcome roll to find out information about your quandary. So is this a way to I'm going to call him and see if he's heard of any increased activity of Black Court vampires in the vicinity?
Okay, give me a roll.
Okay, so in pursuit roll. Okay, and so
it's an overcome roll.
Yeah, so I'm going to, and then I have to figure out what skill.
Yeah, what approach? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to. Well, I don't know if it's not really deception though. I'm going to sort of play into his ego, right?
Okay.
As like, oh man, calling you as a favor, you're the expert, everything about vampires. So, kind of stoking his ego in terms of seeing how to help. So I don't know if that's guile or flair. Flair seems to be more like distracting to get attention versus.
I'd call it, given what you just described, I'd call it guile.
Okay, so I'll roll guile, and I got a 3.
Okay, well, yeah, he lets you compliment him for a little bit, and he says, Sean, listen, you're the 5th person I've heard from today.
Oh shit.
Your Paranet cell got hit. 2 other friends' Paranet cells got hit.
Shit, dude.
The Black Court has been hit.
No way.
There was a known nest of Black Court vampires out in Downey that got destroyed yesterday.
Holy crap.
Now you're telling me the wizard's house is gone?
Yeah, George's house is gone. Matt, our contact's gone. Well, we don't know if he died. His body wasn't there. But his car keys were left and his cell phone was left, but there was no body. Shit, man. If it ain't the Black Court, then who would have the balls to take on both the Black Court vampires and the White Council at the same time?
Someone seems to have it out. Either there's some sort of war going on with multiple factions involved and somehow we didn't hear about any of it, or some faction, some group is trying to take out the entire supernatural community.
Shit, man. That's crazy. All right, man. Well, you stay safe. If
Yeah,
you hear anything, just give me a call. I'll do the same.
I will. I have one more contact I'm going to try and reach out to, but I'll let you know if I get anything out of him.
All right, man. Stay safe.
You too. So you guys were doing this call while you were heading over to George's former residence. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll get there, and Arya, you wanted to examine the rubble using your experience as a former infantry person. What kind of role is that?
And I'll have relayed all the information to Arya in the car, and then as soon as we get out, while Arya's checking around, Sean will relay exactly what he heard from Edgar to Pella.
Okay, so I'm adding an aspect to the scene because you're now at George's house, or where you know the house ought to be. The aspect is hard to notice. And if you have ever been to the house before, you know that you've always had an oddly difficult time finding the place. You've always drive up and down the street multiple times before realizing that you can just count the address numbers in order and park. There does seem to be some sort of subconscious power here that just makes people not see.
Perception filter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, once you focus hard enough, once you realize that this is happening to you, you're able to see the house. And it is, in fact, a smoking ruin full of rubble, as Ruida described. So, Arya, this will be an overcome roll. And you can tell me what approach you'd like to use.
Focus,
Okay.
I guess.
Now, you're invoking your aspect of former military, which I cannot remember what invoking does. So,
I got that.
yeah. Invoking a relevant aspect awards you with a +2 bonus or a reroll. So yeah, you can invoke that, and roll that for me, please.
3.
Okay, is that with your +2 from the aspect?
No. So
it's really 5.
Wow,
5,
nice.
yeah.
Wow. I, in real life, don't know very much about explosives, but you, Arya, are able to tell with your skill that this is indeed done with a portable explosive device that is known to be like this. Looks like something you might see in a war zone somewhere. If there was any magical force involved in this, it mimics real explosives very well.
Can take a time and point out, I was like, you see there the scorch marks? That's an indicator of an accelerant. This was definitely an explosive charge of some sort.
So we're looking for someone who's got access to explosives, has a beef with both the White Council and the Black Court vampires enough to maybe take them both on. You know, I don't know who that could be.
Are there any paramilitary groups that we might know about that would have beef with any of us?
Not that you know of, but as you guys are having this conversation, as you guys are having this conversation, a voice suddenly speaks up. And turning to look for the source of the voice, you see the man that you know as George. He's a very large man, and he's standing there with his hands raised. And you can see all of his apprentices, 3 of them, in a circle very close to his body. And then he drops his hands, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, obviously he was there the whole time. And he looks at you and says, "That's good work. It was the mortals. It was the humans."
Which humans?
Does it matter? As soon as
Well, there's more than 3 of us, so it'd help to narrow it down.
As soon as any large enough group of mortals finds out about the supernatural, out come the pitchforks. I don't know who these guys were. They wore black, they had armor, they had guns. I've seen this kind of thing in many countries, in many centuries. It's always the same. But I can tell you this. There was money behind them to have all that gear. And they were very thorough.
Thank goodness you're okay.
Yes. He looks around at the destroyed rubble of his house. If only I had woken up in time, maybe the house would be too.
All right. So, Sean's just going to muse out loud. So someone with money in LA, well, that doesn't narrow it down. We're going to have to...
What are you talking about? That's, actually,
yeah,
kind of could.
You've got Hollywood, you've got, tech industry. I mean, heck, in the Valley alone, you've got the porn industry. I mean, just name what industries is out there.
Yeah, but most of the people here aren't rolling in it.
Right.
There's also no indication that the financing is local.
Right. Exactly. Sean's going to look around and see, if there are any cameras, security cameras in the area.
Like traffic cam type stuff?
Yeah, or if, are we in a completely residential zone?
You are, and if there were cameras, they wouldn't work near George.
True. Right.
He should knock on some doors to see if anyone saw any cars leave. Suspicious people, other than ourselves, of course.
Nobody will have seen anything.
Yeah.
It was a security measure I had in place that was supposed to keep people of ill will from noticing what goes on here. Obviously, stronger measures were warranted.
How did they find you in the first place, then, is the question.
I don't know. I don't even know who they are. I'm not a detective. I just stay home and train wizards. That's my whole life. Did I hear you saying that the Black Court was hit as well?
Yeah, one of my contacts said one of the Black Court groups was hit earlier, and as well as 2 other cells of the Paranet have been hit. So this is not an isolated incident.
I have to say, I was always dubious of this Paranet concept. It's supposed to keep you all safe, but if everyone knows about each other, then information can be gathered. Well, I'm going to take my apprentices to Edinburgh. Good luck. George turns with his staff and cuts open the air. There's a little ripple of magical energy comes out of it. And he gestures for his apprentices to go in. But one of them, Mike, is just kind of like dumbfounded that this is happening. He's like, George, you're not going to help? These are human beings. George just shrugs and says, there are lots of human beings everywhere.
Well, fuck you, asshole.
We may not be as special as you, George, but we are here to help you.
You see enough of your friends get burned at the stake, your view kind of changes.
Fine.
So Mike sort of crosses his arms and says, I'm not going. I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to help.
What can you do?
Sean's going to go and give Mike a fist bump.
Mike whispers to you, Pella, I can protect us a little bit, and I can maybe do a tracking spell if we can find something to track. But maybe the best thing I can do is try and get George to stay.
Yeah, well, George don't really seem like he's too interested in staying. I mean, does he have? I mean, George, has George left for reals yet?
No, George has been sort of holding the way open, and the other three apprentices that were here have gone through. So it's just George and Mike still here.
I mean, George, do you have somewhere else to stay here?
Here? No, that's why I'm going to Edinburgh.
And so with flair, Sean's going to be, fine, run away to Edinburgh, be scared.
All right.
We are going to stand and fight. Because we are not cowards.
Yeah, taunt that motherfucker.
What's that?
Taunt that motherfucker.
Yeah. I said, I may not have magic, but I've got guts. You got guts? Huh, George? Do you got what it takes? I mean, it's...
Maybe.
Can you live with yourself? Sure, you live 500 years, but I'd prefer to die a man.
Okay, have fun with that. He turns and he leaves. And this, this kind of reinforces one major aspect of the White Council's reputation, which is that they're all dicks.
Like, what a dick.
Yeah.
Hi, man.
The occasional Harry Dresden aside, most of the White Council are just they don't give a crap.
Reminds me of some of the officers I knew in the military.
Well, and you could just imagine, like, someone who lives 500 years, like a person who lives 50 years is, like a pet, right? Like, okay, I get maybe emotionally attached at most, but, Yeah,
and he seems to view himself more as one of the monsters than one of the people.
Right. That's fine.
Even though he is technically a human.
Grumpy old man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way closes. Mike is still with you.
Mike, what is it you need to assist in a tracking spell?
Well, the best thing would be blood, maybe hair from one of the people who was here. But the real question is, if we find a group of heavily armed, combat-trained men, what do we do with them?
That's a good question.
Because I was, I got to tell you, I couldn't do much with them when they were here.
Maybe I know some paramilitary types that can assist.
Do you?
She inquires of the DM. GM, excuse me.
Chasing rumors. What does that stunt do? You have a stunt called Chasing Rumors on your sheet.
Yeah.
Well, I heard there is a group running around in downtown LA, right? If you can find them.
They'd be pretty old at this point, wouldn't they?
Maybe.
Just says knowledge to aid rolls to overcome or create an advantage when your research into supernatural threats is relevant. +2 for each box marked.
Okay. Even though this is not a supernatural threat, I will say that it technically applies because it's a threat to the supernatural. Yeah, why don't you do an overcome roll, and you can, for each box of knowledge that you're willing to mark, you get +2 to it. So you start with 5 boxes of knowledge.
Yeah. I'm gonna mark 1.
Okay. And then choose an approach as well, which I think would probably be intellect would make the most sense off the top of my head.
Okay.
But if you can make a case for one of the others, that's also fine.
That's not good. With the +2, that's 1.
Okay. So you don't know anyone who can offer aid, but you do have one piece of knowledge, which is that there is no group operating in the LA area above board that matches the description that George gave you. Black-clad, armor-clad, paramilitary guys. Like, there just isn't a place like that here.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's not supposed to be. So it's 10 o'clock in LA.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take our 10-minute break now, and we will come back and figure out if you find these guys. All right. So thank you for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in 10. Welcome back. So you guys are standing in the ruins of George's house. You will notice that since George has left, I have erased the hard-to-notice aspect, which means you're now standing in a very noticeable...
Very conspicuous
pile of rubble.
We should go.
Hey, Mikey, can you track something now? If you can't, because there's no blood or hair in this. There was no fight here, right? It was basically an IED bomb, and then
there was a fight. They came in shooting, but I told you I can protect people. That's what I did until George woke up. But by then they'd already planted a charge. George helped me hold up a shield. He's casting like a magical force field as he says this. but George didn't get up in time to actually save the house.
So is there any blood around the vicinity we can find to track, or were none of them injured in the firefight?
Well, unfortunately, we didn't have much time to shoot back. So they just came in long enough to plant their charge and ran. By the time I realized what they'd done, it was already exploding around me.
All right. Well, we better blow this popsicle stand before the cops get here.
Let's wander over back to that Starbucks over there and work from there.
All right. At this point, Edgar Frog calls back.
Oh. Answer immediately. What's up, Ed?
I told you I was going to call one more contact.
Yeah.
Well, don't ask me to explain how I have his number, but it was Darius. You guys know that Darius is kind of a boogeyman sort of figure in the Paranet in LA.
Okay.
He is the enforcer of the pack, the werewolf pack.
Whoa.
Yeah, he is. He has a reputation for not being overly vicious, but for being unstoppable in a confrontation.
Roger.
He is both a powerful alpha werewolf and a combat-trained martial artist.
Okay. So what did Darius have to say? Did they get hit too?
Someone tried. They captured one of them. It was humans. It was mortals. People with guns just came at the pack.
Shit, man. Well, whoever they are, they have balls, man. But, all right. Well, we've got a wizard here who said he'd help us track them. So, do you think Darius would? Do you think we'd be able to talk to them? I mean, I'm sure they'd be kind of spooked.
You want to talk to Darius?
Well, we'd want to see if they'd allow us to come and talk to their prisoner. Maybe use our magic to track him.
Well, what are you gonna do if you find him?
I don't know. We'll tell the pack where they are.
That might work.
Man.
Darius wants a
Yeah.
piece of these guys. That might work.
Yeah. George left us high and dry, man. Dude's in Edinburgh eating haggis and wearing kilts or shit. I don't know what. He left us high and dry.
Yeah, he's known for that. His apprentices say all he does is read books and play D&D. He won't even DM.
Selfish bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so where should we meet Darius? Over by Travel Town?
Travel Town. Yeah, I'll that's good. I'll ask him. So you guys are gonna head back to Starbucks while you wait?
Yeah.
Well, while you're in the Starbucks, you hear the police and fire sirens heading towards George's place. Clearly some neighbors called somebody finally. And you also notice something else. Actually, Arya, you're the first one to see this. Because it is a Starbucks and all the walls are glass, you can see out to the sidewalk where someone, you can't tell whether it's male or female, but someone wearing like too many clothes for June. A jacket, a hood, a scarf, all pulled forward a lot so you can see nothing of the body. someone is standing there facing the Starbucks. And if you could see their eyes, you're pretty certain that they would be looking right where you guys are sitting.
Don't look, but there's somebody watching us outside.
What do you mean, somebody watching us?
Like, not sure if you'll like keep my hand down, like over there, point in that general direction.
The clothing is dirty, old and beat up, mismatched. The impression that you would get if you just saw this person is
So
a homeless
we
person.
get those around here. They're called homeless people.
Yes.
Yeah, but they're staring into the window.
Yeah, we get those around here. They're called homeless people.
When they see you looking back, they start to walk away.
Do they seem weird at all?
They walk with like a shuffle step, like dragging one foot.
Can I see their hands?
No.
Yeah.
Gloves.
I
Well,
think
that's curious.
Given the circumstances of the evening, I'm inclined to go and question them. I'll get up to
I'll
go
back that up.
Okay.
chase them down.
Ooh.
So you guys are out on.
Good evening. What time of day is it?
It's mid-afternoon right now.
Okay. All right. Mid-afternoon. Homeless person, really a little overclothed.
Yeah. So you're heading out to try and catch this person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's see where they're headed.
Sean, are you going to?
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking up some of my stunts just to see what I could possibly do.
All right.
And also, if the neighbors have called the police and fire department, they may recognize our car. So we should probably get out of here as well soon.
Okay. Yeah. Well, by the time you get out of the Starbucks and get around the corner long enough or far enough to see where this person ought to be based on where they were walking, they're no longer in sight.
Curious.
Yeah.
You have no clue where someone moving so slowly could have gotten to in that amount of time.
I don't like this, guys. My guess is that's a vampire and a turf war. And they may think that we're part of this. We need to get out of here, man.
Well, at this point, we are a part of this.
Yeah.
So,
Or they'll think we're responsible for it, I should say, versus a part of it. Yeah, man.
yeah, let's hustle out of here. If we're meeting someone like around Griffith Park, let's go back to my place, and we can wait there.
Okay.
As Pella lives up in Los Feliz.
Fair enough. So while you're on the way there, Edgar will call Sean back and report that Darius has agreed to meet with you if you bring the wizard who can track.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
He says that Darius hasn't been able to get anything out of this guy. By the way, Mike, I think Mike's going to ride with Pella if you'll let him, just to balance the cars. He's going to just try and get in Pella's car. I don't know if...
Sure. No, and we all know that Pella's probably got a nicer car.
Oh no, I've already just. I mean, So I was saying this in chat. Like I'm laughing because you seem to have like a kind of beat up, junked '90s, like just standard '90s car.
Mm-hmm.
And Pella's got a decently maintained like '70s, like solid '70s junker. Like she's driving like a 2-door Gremlin hatchback, but it's in decent shape.
And Arya's just wondering, why the fuck didn't I drive?
Yes.
All right. So yeah, I just did that. I feel like a normal person would get in the car with less people in it, but I wanted to see if there was any character reason why you wouldn't let him.
I mean, she gives him a bit of a stink eye, like if he just steps up to it, like, "Oh, I'm gonna go with you," and she's kind of like, "Yeah, okay, whatever, just get the fuck in."
Okay. So while you're on your way there, Edgar calls again. It tells you that that Darius has agreed to the meet, and he will in fact meet you at Travel Town. So you guys reach for Mia and Jason. If you don't know, obviously Kenny looked it up. I don't know, or maybe you know it from past
Oh, I
experience.
used to visit Travel Town all the time as a kid, so.
Really, I never heard of it until I was a full-on grown-up with my own kids.
Oh, man, yeah.
Well, it's like a little place you can go. It's near Griffith Park, where they have like a bunch of old train cars that you can just walk through and look at, and yeah. And then there's
And in addition to that, there's some train enthusiasts that have like these small rideable scale ones. Like you can ride like a pony, and you can ride around and do train rides.
yeah, there's that, and there's like sometimes they got the model train guys there, and it's it's the kind of place you take your kid.
No, that's
It's on the north side of Griffith Park.
okay. That explains why I'm not super familiar with it.
Yeah.
I was more of a southeastern side of Griffith Park, more the old zoo.
Yeah, you've got to be like almost going to the zoo to get there. But anyway, yeah, that's the kind of place it is. It's a big parking lot, and you guys are going to go inside. The thing is, none of you know Darius on sight.
Mm-hmm.
But after you are inside Travel Town, there's a decent amount of people there today. And I guess you're all probably just scanning them to see if any of them look like they might be a werewolf.
Right, big hulking enforcer dude.
Yeah. A guy walks up to you who's actually not that big. He's maybe 5'10", but heavily muscled.
Wait, did you say 5'10"?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's maybe about 5'10", heavily muscled, black guy, bald. He walks up to you. He looks at Mike, and then he looks at the rest of you and says, "You all smell like you've been around blood."
Yeah, man. Shit has gotten real bad. Heard you guys got hit?
Just a little. We tend to hit back.
Shit, man. They took out part of our cell. Apparently someone has hit Black Court Gang and a couple of other cells. So whoever's doing this, man, is well equipped. So maybe we can team up, sort of. Try and figure out who this is. You guys have someone who we could potentially track. We've got a tracker. You know, maybe we can help each other out.
Let me put this to you. Suppose I take you to where we have this person. And from there, your wizard friend is able to track down the rest of his team. What happens next?
Well, dude, I don't think the three of us can take them. And whoever they are, I'm doubting they're going to stop.
So if I'm not mistaken, your plan is for us to do the work.
Oh, I would say we would all do the work. We can, but as being non-supernatural, with the exception of the wizard, we could probably get into places you may not to try and identify where these folks are. Do the scouting for you.
He looks at Mike. You're one of George's. That makes you not really a wizard, right? Mike says, I'm really close. I'm going to take the test next year. So Darius nods and heads to the parking lot, gesturing for you guys to follow. He leads you to a little house that you would swear was abandoned.
Mm.
It's just a couple miles away. And inside there is a room full of people. I mean, a house full of people. All sort of arrayed around this one beaten, bloodied, tied up figure. He is wearing what looks like the remains of perhaps a tactical vest that has been torn to shreds. And there is blood leaking from a lot of parts of him. But he is alive.
Arya, do you want to knock some sense into him?
It looks like the werewolves have done quite a number already. And if he hasn't spoke to them, yeah, I don't think I could get anything more out of him.
Maybe you can check him. Maybe you can identify some of his equipment.
Yeah, he's obviously been stripped of most of it. Can I examine
It's around,
that?
yeah, it's around the room. It is, there's nothing on any of the weapons or anything that would identify a group, but there is a patch that was torn off of his shirt that says Ares Team. You do not know that name.
And the tactical equipment is obviously high grade, I guess.
Yes, it's other than the recent damage done by the werewolves, you would swear it was brand new.
Absolutely. Looks like these guys were recently outfitted in this Ares group. I've not heard of them. Ares is the god of war. Any other references you can think of?
No. Well, what kind of firearm?
He's got an automatic rifle and a pistol. He also seems to have been the guy with the battering ram, because there's one of those in the corner.
Ooh. Yeah. So Sean's like trying to take a look at it, see if he recognizes it from, like, is this sort of standard police issue stuff that maybe he would recognize from visiting the police station as a kid?
No. It's better than what most police would have, especially years ago when you were a kid.
Yeah, okay.
You know enough to know that it's better than police issue.
Okay.
More expensive anyway.
Gotcha. No, Sean was just having like the flash of like, oh shit, is this like a paramilitary underground police organization for taking out
Well, being high-end equipment, there could be only a few vendors in the area or even in the country that would sell equipment this expensive or high-tech.
I have added an aspect to the scene of agitated, which I think goes without saying refers to the werewolves amongst whom you now stand. Mike steps in and says, "Well, what do you have that I could track that might lead back to the rest of them?"
Well, what do you need to use your spell?
The best thing is blood. And he looks at Darius and says, did you get any blood from any of them except him? Because if I track his blood, it's just going to lead me here.
Oh, true. Shit. So what does Darius say?
He leads you guys out the back door, which you can see has been broken open, probably by that battering ram. And he gestures down at the sidewalk. It's covered in blood. There's like, not a sidewalk, but like a little path that leads up to the back door. It's just covered in blood. He says, I can't tell you what's his and what might belong to the next guy, but I heard at least 2 others besides him before they ran.
Well, Mikey, do what you got to do.
Okay, so Mikey asks for some time. He clearly isn't that good at this kind of magic. Earlier, you saw him projecting force fields like it was nothing.
Right.
But he's drawing a circle on the sidewalk with some chalk. He's like lighting candles and setting them out at 5 points, and he's doing all this weird
motions.
Yeah, he's going through a lot of motions that you guys have kind of seen it before. It's a more advanced version of stuff that people in your group can kind of do. But I'm sorry, what?
Oh, I was just saying, should I might as well be taking out a Ouija board at this point to see if we can figure out?
No. You know that in order to be even a White Council apprentice, Mike's power is far beyond anyone who's in the Paranet.
Okay.
Because, those Paranetters are just people with a trickle of magical power, barely move the needle. But to be on the White Council, you got to be a heavyweight. So this means that Mike has at least enough raw force even if he's not fully trained yet.
Roger.
So
I'm curious. Well, if that's going to take a minute, I was wondering if I could use my. Oh, sorry, looking up a particular stunt. So I've got this criminal favors stunt, which lets me mark heat to get criminal assistance by way of like minor NPCs. But I was wondering if I could use that in a way to see if I could maybe get a line on this Ares group through like underworld contacts.
Yeah, you can try that. But I would say that seeking out such a contact would require sort of abandoning the current effort, because you'd have to like go to someone. People won't talk about that. What's that?
Because I am a criminal.
Right.
I should know people. I should be able to call people and say, hey, have you heard of this fucking group?
Well, I'm not going to make you roll for it. What I will say is just if all of your criminal contacts are vanilla mortal criminals, then they don't know anything. Nobody has heard of Ares.
Okay. No, that's cool.
Yeah, because these guys don't scream criminal at you. At least not street criminal.
Yeah, no, they're not. I mean, I assume that she has like some like general clued in contacts. Like, I mean, she does like monster crime.
Yeah.
But not all of it. So
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's still a blank.
Okay.
Criminal thing I could think of would be how they procured their weapons.
Moving guns into the state like that.
Yeah.
Well,
using them without like calling down LAPD.
As you guys are discussing all the implications of that,
Yeah.
Mike stands up. He's been on his knees muttering and chanting inside the circle. He stands up, reaches out, and breaks the circle that he's drawn with the tip of his toe. And all the werewolves, their heads kind of turn towards the circle as if they heard a noise or felt something. You guys don't feel anything.
Mm-hmm.
But Mike holds up this little, it's like the arrow from a board game with a spinner.
Mm-hmm.
And he holds it up. Well, I guess he holds it like this. And the arrow points south and east. And he says, all right, so whoever's blood this is, this arrow is going to point at him. Or her. For a while? Here's the problem, though. The spell works in a straight line. We're not going to get street directions. We just have to go where the arrow points.
So, like, if we're, like, it's pointing southeast from Griffith, from, like, the northeast-ish end of Griffith Park.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So if we head back towards, well, if we get on the 5.
Yeah, if we
and start heading south.
like
on the
I'm
5.
literally thinking, like, we can get on the freeway, go south, wait till it, like, try and just, oh God, but that's such a shitty. Wow, that's some immersion. Wow, that's a really shitty bit of freeway to fucking do that from, though. Especially, like, okay, Mike, do you have any idea how long this will stick?
As long as I'm concentrating on it.
A few hours?
As long as I'm still feeding power into the spell by concentrating on it, which I can probably keep up for a couple hours if I need to.
Okay, no, that's not terrible. So yeah, I think, like, I am going to suggest a plan of getting on the freeway south, traveling until that needle starts turning more east than south, and getting off there, or at least seeing where we are there to get off, and, like, basically wait till it's maybe pointing a little north, honestly.
Yeah.
Find a major street east till it's pointing northwest, and just kind of try and
kind of triangulate as best we can.
Without using triangles.
Well, yeah, okay. I'm going to fast forward this here. If you guys get on the 5 and start doing what you described, you will eventually find that this thing points actually more or less to downtown Los Angeles.
Oh.
So
okay. Yeah, that's okay.
More south than you expected, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, that was a lot more south than I was imagining.
Yeah.
But that's even better, because it means we're going to get there quicker.
Yeah.
And I mean,
and we can hit little
LA is
Tokyo.
kind of shitty for driving, but
yeah, it does take a long time. But
well, no, from Griffith Park to downtown, it's not going to be quick, but it's not going through downtown. It's not trying to go down to like USC.
Right, but it is again. It is late afternoon, and it's a it's a weekday. So, yeah, there's some traffic. Darius follows you in his truck, which he has packed full of other werewolves, and you eventually find your way to what looks like a corporate style office building in LA. And
Who'd have thunk it?
yeah, Mike, stands outside of the place with his little arrow pointer, and he like turns it sideways so that instead of horizontal, it's pointing vertical, and the arrow is going up to one of the high floors.
Ay, way.
Well, it seems we're in the right place.
So yeah, you guys walk into the lobby of this building. And
You know what?
Is there a recognizable moniker on the building?
No.
Can we Google this place before we walk into it?
It's that Nakatomi Tower.
You can Google the address.
Yeah, I mean, just like Google the address, Google whatever like logo is on it.
There is no
Just try
logo.
and get-
It is
it's just like a blank building,
it is a blank building
but in use.
in use, no logo.
Okay. Yeah, let's Google the address and see if that gets us anything.
Here's a fun fact. According to Google, there is no such address. You find this same street address in several other cities, but if you try to specify Los Angeles, it nothing comes up.
Okay, well, that's piqued my curiosity.
Yeah.
And being, I mean, I'm not stupid. I want to check Google Street View.
The building is there.
Okay.
It appears in the photographs.
Okay. But there's no
there's
address connected to it.
There's no address connected to it. There is nothing in Google Street View indicating what might be here.
Yeah, no, I was just curious if the building itself was going to show up.
It does show up.
Okay.
Cameras
So
work
maybe
on it.
this same magic that was disguising George's house is disguising this building.
No, it was going to make a bunch of noise.
Definitely not that, Sean, because George's house had something on it that made it hard to find even if you were looking for it. This place wasn't hard to find at all. You see it right there.
Right. Okay, gotcha. So this is just someone that aggressively was deleting any data on Google.
Potentially.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to use my focus, or I would like to take a focused approach to, case in the joint. We are going to circle it, like walk around the block. Just try and get an idea of where the entrances are, if we see anybody coming and going.
Okay.
Is this like one of them glass fronted buildings? Is it?
It is mirrored glass, the kind of thing that you would see your reflection in if you drove past it on the freeway.
Okay, I got that picture.
So walking around the building is an easy thing to do. It doesn't require a roll. You see the front doors. You see a different pair of what could also be called front doors on the opposite side of the building. And then on the two perpendicular sides, you see an entrance and an exit to an underground parking garage.
Okay, that's the latter part there was of interest. Does it look like is it a publicly accessible parking garage?
No, you need to have a pass to swipe in.
Okay. Is it like guarded, or is it just like you can't get past the barrier without a card?
Both. There's a guy in a booth. It's not like a guard, but there's a guy in a booth.
Yeah.
And there's a machine that will raise the arm if you swipe your card.
All right. Nope. This is okay. That's yeah.
At this time, I'm. The werewolves are getting impatient.
Oh, I bet they are.
Yeah, they are. Darius himself has come with you because he thinks that casing this place is a good idea. But the rest of the werewolves their agitation is increasing.
no, I want to express to him that like I get that, and I think he gets it. Like we just want to make sure we're getting into this place the right way, and not the walking into a trap way.
What about a service elevator out the back?
You don't see any such thing, although there may be like a freight elevator, if that's what you mean.
Right.
There may be one in the parking garage, but not that you can see from the street.
Yeah, there could that. Yeah. I'm curious what the lobby to this place is like.
Yeah, you can see
the lobby accessible.
Yes. Like I said, there are doors to get in on either side of the building, and it's a straight shot between them, except that imagine like the first floor of this building as a plus sign from above.
Yeah.
So when you come in one, you can walk out the other, but right in the middle is the security guard / information desk. And then on each of the 4 corners is elevators.
Okay.
But as far as description, it's very nice looking. Like it's very clean. Everything's polished. Nice modern tile on the floors. The security guard's shirt is pressed.
But no like logos or anything.
Not a one.
Yeah, that's shady.
As you come around the other side of the building, the second door, after having already been at the first one, you see him looking at you.
Oh,
the security guard, and he picks up a phone and dials something.
Wow, shit.
You know what? I'm gonna walk in. Y'all can stay behind. I want to try something. I'm literally going to like try. Do the doors open?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. I'm going to try and boldly walk right up to this dude.
Okay. As you come in, he says, "I'll call you back," and puts down the phone. Can I help you, sir?
Ma'am.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I should have put pronouns on the tags. Can I help you, ma'am?
Oh, I assumed he had said that.
He said that.
Hey. No, I was just. Hey, quit that shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell the guard that.
It never works.
Sorry.
The cats.
He's messing with one of my trash bins. No, I want to approach this guy and just, hey, I was just like walking around the block, and I just kind of noticed this place. And what are you?
This is an office building.
Yeah, but whose office? I mean, most of them, they got logos and branding, and this place has got none of that. And I'm just I'm local. I live in the area, and I'm just looking and going, wait, what is this place? It looks like a place, but it's got no name. What are you?
Well, we have several businesses on the floors above us. Are you looking for someone in particular?
Yeah, I'm looking for the. You know what? I am. I'm looking for the Ares security outfit.
Wait right there for just a moment, please. He is going to type something into his computer, stare at it, then look over at you and say, "What is your business with the Ares Security Company?"
I'm looking for work. I wanted to apply. I mean, do you take applications, or do I need to bring a resume for that kind of thing?
He presses a button, and there's a thunking sound that echoes through the heavily tiled lobby. Which, Arya and Sean, you guys are still outside, correct?
Correct.
Okay, you also hear the thunking sound. Only when you hear it, you can also hear the little click telling you that that sound was the doors locking.
I look over, I'm like, uh-oh, Pillow's in trouble.
So, yeah, Pella, he says nothing more to you. He just stands there with his arms crossed staring at you.
Cool, so I'll find my way up myself. They got applications upstairs?
Ding! Elevator doors open. And the plus shape that I described with elevators in each corner,
Yeah.
a team comes out of each one. 3 people. 3 people in each elevator. You are surrounded by 12 people with
What?
guns.
Cool. I mean, I don't really. They're not really my style, but you know, sure.
So, Sean or
what kind
Arya?
of firearms?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, what kind of firearms do they carry?
They clearly match the guy that the werewolves had.
Yeah.
Pardon.
Okay. Sean's idea is he is going to he's gonna look at Darius and Arya and say, "You guys go around the other entrance. It's go time." Like
Okay.
he's like motioning you guys, like he's like at this door, he's motioning you to like start to head over the other door.
Well, when you turn to say that,
Yeah.
Darius is already gone.
Like towards the door.
You don't know where he is, but 2 of his werewolves are still here, and he and
Yeah.
2 others are gone.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is use my flare
Really?
and just act like as an annoyed patron, like yanking on the door, like calling all the attention towards him, like, "Hey, let me in!" Like banging on the door, like just not showing like just like an annoyance of someone being locked out of his house or
Okay.
his office, sort of thing.
Give me a roll. Let's call
All right.
that.
And this is to give advantage to other. What's the? So I'm going to use flare
Yeah, for
to
sure.
create an advantage. Is my goal.
All right. And do you have anything that could help you with that? An aspect of some kind?
I do have. Well, depending upon what they do. Well, it's against monsters, so that doesn't work against humans, does it?
No.
No. Countermeasures, supernatural conditions. Nope. I think that's it.
Okay, well, give me the roll.
Yep. And holy crap. So I had a +3 and I rolled 2 negative rolls, so I get a 1.
Okay.
Damn.
So you're trying to get their attention.
Yeah.
One of the 3 guys who came out of the elevator, like close to you on your left,
Yeah.
turns and fires 1 shot at the glass right in front of you, and you see it hit the glass, and the glass spiderweb like right where your face would have been if there hadn't been glass.
Shit.
And then he turns his attention back to Pella. However, it is at this moment that the opposite doors explode inward, and you see the form of Darius amidst the explosion. The werewolves next to you go through where the glass broke, and now there are 5 werewolves in the room with 12 armed people, and bullets are flying, fangs are coming out. I'm going to start with Arya, and I'm going to let you guys each do one thing if you wish to at this point.
I was going to like shoot out the rest of the glass and then jump in, but since the werewolf did that, I'll just follow it in, guns blazing.
Okay.
You're like
Are you shooting?
wielding a machete in one hand and the pistol in the other.
Are you Who are you shooting at? The wolves or the people?
The guards that have leveled a gun on Sean specifically.
Okay. And Sean, what will you do?
So I'm still at one of the doors that's not broken open, right? Because it was. Or did they break this door too?
Yeah, remember I said Darius left 2 werewolves with you when he disappeared.
Okay, and they
broke the glass in front of you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to I'm gonna do defend to try and make sure, like, out of the spraying bullets that I'm not gonna get hit by anything.
Okay.
Using my what's the skill? Sorry.
Well, let's not do the rolls yet. I want to hear what Pella's going to do. Then we'll come back and go through the circle. Pella, what will you do?
Oh, like the moment these werewolves burst in, I want to try and dive tackle over the information desk.
Okay, and hit the guy
behind the information desk, and basically, I want to tackle him and just get the fuck down from whatever violence I don't want to fucking get in the way of.
Okay.
Violence, but I don't want to get in the way of a bunch of dudes with guns and a bunch of wolves.
Okay, so Arya, we're going to do your roll. You're attacking the armed men. That's going to be force. And I guess you can add +2 from your infantry aspect.
That is a 4 total then.
Okay. You have killed him. And let's have Sean go next. You were going to defend yourself, correct?
Right. Well, like, it depends on, like, if I imagine, well, actually, if the guards aren't even focused at him at all, then what he'll try and do is see if he can, distract the guards as best he can to ease the werewolf attack. So I guess it depends on, like, does he feel like the guards are actually even going to take aim at him, or are they so distracted by the werewolves?
Yeah, at this point they're not concerned with you. They are defending themselves against monsters.
Gotcha. So, I guess the best I can do is, just try and see if I can create a distraction, just to, like, call attention to himself. Because what's flare? Let's see. Yeah, so the guy who shot him, he's going to yell at him, like, hey, asshole, how about you try that again? But, like, intentionally doing that to distract him from the werewolf that's about to tear his limbs off.
Okay. So I'm going to say that doing that, you actually eliminate one of them. Because they outnumber the werewolves, but they can't. The werewolves are just way more powerful. So, you distract one of them, and it gets him killed. Pella, let's have your tackle.
I'm doing an attack.
Yeah, this would probably be force.
Oh, I'd hope it'd be force.
Yeah.
Can I invoke my urban barbarian for this?
Yes, you can.
Ooh. So I guess that'll be like +2.
Yeah.
Seven.
Whoa. Okay, so you tackle the guy down, and
And I want to state, I don't want to kill him.
Well, he hits his head on the floor and goes unconscious.
Okay, that's cool.
Because you tackled him so hard. You also knocked his gun loose from his belt.
Okay, cool.
Now you have a gun.
Bang, bang. Ho, ho, ho.
All right. So I am going to just do a little homebrew rule and speed along the chaos here. Yeah, so I said a minute ago that the guards outnumbered the werewolves. It was 12-5.
Yeah.
You guys killed 2 of them, making it 10-5. The werewolves have now evened the odds. They have killed 5 of these men, and the others are trying to back into one of the elevators. They're keeping the werewolves at bay semi-successfully using their weapons. And I'm going to add an aspect. I'm going to take out agitated, and I'm replace it with bloody chaos. So, Arya, what would you like to do next?
You said they're backing towards the elevator. Is there any way I could, like, get in there, trying between the werewolves and the bad guys? Maybe do like one of those fancy slide walk across the floor.
You want to get in the elevator with them?
I will get close enough that I could unload a few rounds into the group of them.
Okay. Yeah. What are we calling that?
With a werewolf as a body shield?
Well, I'm trying to figure out the blocking in my head.
Well,
I don't
Steve?
think you... Yeah.
Well, I'm curious about one aspect of the blocking. Are all of the paramilitary, are all of the Ares security guys going to the same elevator?
Yes.
Or are they going to different?
I'm actually going to draw it.
Okay.
And the ones that we killed, can we pick up their rifles or guns? Are they semi-automatic or?
You can pick them up, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that being the security desk in the middle, there's Pella. You guys came in from this way. So here's how I had it in my head. 3 guys from each elevator. Arya killed this one, and Sean got this one killed. The werewolves killed an additional 5, so we'll mark off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now the remaining 5, 2 from here, 2 from here, and 1 from here, have grouped up and are backing into this elevator. In the midst of the chaos, they managed to reform right there. They're facing outward and backing in, while the werewolves are like sort of coming at them from that way. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Just in my head, I'm letting you know, like the White Stripes song, Icky Thump from the other guys. Like as soon as the firing started happening, right? That's exactly the music that's going on in my head.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so Arya, given that layout, what is it that you would like to do?
I would slide along that wall there on the right-hand side to try and get as close.
That wall?
And avoid their, that wall there.
Okay.
And with any luck, get a shot off. But
okay. Yeah, so that's just going to be a force roll then. And if you have anything that can buff it, like the stunts.
Let me see. Rise to the occasion.
What does that one do? I'm just looking it up myself.
So
you are at your most determined when danger is looming. Once per scene while you are in it too deep, you can take +2 to any defensive action.
And in too deep is a it's a condition. It's a mortal condition.
Okay, so no word. That's not.
Yeah, so that doesn't
applicable.
apply here.
Okay. Just
So
a
yeah,
force.
just a regular force roll.
3.
Yeah, you are able to get a shot off, and you hit one of them, but he is not killed.
Take that,
Yeah.
bastard.
Sean, what are you doing?
I am going to see. I'm not really that good of a shot, so so what I'm going to do is take shots towards the elevator in terms of trying to distract. Again, my focus is more to try and distract the guards, so they're.
You're trying to do like some suppressive fire.
Right. So like that way, or in this case, it'd be infilating fire, right, from the side, more to distract them from, hey, being shot at the side. They're therefore paying less attention potentially to the werewolf that's right in front of them, making them more vulnerable.
I'm gonna say this is actually kind of hard. Because being wolves, they are already spread out and striking from multiple angles.
Gotcha.
Arya was able to do it by hugging the wall, but she's already hugging that wall. So you would have a hard time getting a clear shot.
Well, then, if that's the case, then what I'll try and do is run and see if the elevator to the left side is still open.
The other 3 elevators are all closed. In fact, all 4 elevators closed, and these guys just reopened this one.
Gotcha.
They have just a quick out-of-game question. They have passkeys on any of the corpses lying on the floor?
Yes.
That sort of thing.
Yes, good question. And all of the living and dead members of the team have badges.
Badges.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess then I'll try and grab the dead. We can see on the dead one on the left. See if there's a badge that we can grab.
You are able to grab it.
Nice.
Anything else? You want to take an action?
I guess would be to try and see if I could figure out how to. If there's like a swipey thing to.
Yeah, it's like just one of those magnetic scanners. You just hold the badge up to it.
Okay.
There's no trick. It just goes.
As I do so, I say multipass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold it up against the thing.
All right.
No, it's a multi-pass.
Pella, what are you going to do? Arya is still shooting at these guys. Sean is trying the elevator, and you're behind the desk.
Yeah, Sean. I mean, Sean's kind of a step ahead of me right now.
Okay.
I was gonna check this guy I just knocked out. Like, does he have like any key, like obvious like bundle of keys or like pass cards or anything on him? Any walkie-talkies?
He has all 3 of those things.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, I take them.
Great.
And I like if I've still got time after that, I want to check if there's any kind of like security interface at this kiosk.
Yeah, there was the computer that he was typing on when he was talking to you. However, it has already been destroyed in a hail of bullets.
Well, fuck my donkey.
That's illegal.
Well, you could take it to the Apple Bar, but you're gonna have to wait 3 days to get an appointment. So
Yeah.
The Genius Bar.
Is there any other like hardware or anything behind this kiosk that hasn't been destroyed?
There is a big ass shotgun.
Okay, cool. I grab the shot. I'll grab his shotgun too, and I'm gonna peek over the rim of the kiosk to see what's going on out there.
Yep, you see it.
And honestly, I'm gonna get ready to hustle after Sean.
Okay, so at this point, the elevator doors in front of Sean are opening, and the elevator doors in front of the Ares team are starting to close. They have backed all the way in the elevator, and they are closing it. So, Arya and Pella, are you gonna rush to that elevator then?
Yes.
Well, let me clarify.
I'm rushing to the elevator with Sean.
And Arya, what are you gonna do?
Join Sean and Pella.
Okay. So the werewolves they're trying to stop the other elevator from closing, and the three of you manage to escape notice by
You know what, Steve? Ridiculously, are there any security dude bodies I can grab and pull with us?
I mean, sure, you can grab the guy that Sean took the card off of. He's right there.
Yeah, there was just the one body right there.
Yeah, he's right in front of those doors.
Yeah.
You know what? I probably didn't see you take that, so I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay.
Just thinking, hey, while we're sitting and waiting in this elevator, we'll have an actual minute to rifle through this guy's pockets.
Or I was just thinking we stand in there and listen to elevator music like the Blues Brothers as they're heading up.
No. See, I've got a walkie-talkie, and I think someone who's good at bluffing and bullshitting needs to sow some dissent of what just happened down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I could get on the radio and say, "Oh shit!" Because like if I'm using your map, at least according to the camera, like where it says "bloody chaos," like to me that's the north side.
Sure.
Which is the other elevator. So I'll just get on the radio and say, "They're coming up the north elevators. They're coming up the north elevators." Get them to look the wrong way.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Let's have you roll for that.
Okay.
That'll be guile.
Yeah. All right. I'm not great at that, but we'll see. Make it a fun.
The reply comes, "Who is this? How'd you get on this channel?"
We're doing fine here. How are you doing?
Here now. How are you?
Right.
All right. Well, the elevator gets to the top and opens. Mm-hmm. And you see what?
But before the elevator before we get to the top, like how far up are we going?
You're going 5 floors.
Okay, I've got enough time to go, hey, I got a shotgun that I'm not a big shotgun person. Not a huge gun person. Do one of y'all want to use this shotgun?
I believe they both already picked up rifles, didn't you?
Yeah. I just had my pistol, so I'll take the shotgun.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, you guys can watch the numbers going up. You get to 5, and it opens onto a very normal-looking office area. There's a reception desk in front of you, and then like a little half wall, and behind that there are cubicles.
And there's nobody out in the lobby?
Not that you can see, no.
Well, we know from the radio that there's at least one person up here.
Yeah.
Oh, beans.
So as you are wondering that, actually, one of the doors to the offices opens, and someone comes out, says, "What was it? Who was down there?" And then sees that it's you, whoever you are.
Yeah.
And she turns around and hustles back inside and slams the office door.
Yeah. What?
Can we react fast enough to get a foot in the door before she gets it all the way closed?
No, because she's sort of halfway across the space, and you guys are just coming out of the elevator.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Who's got the force? Who's the more strongly built?
Who doesn't have the force here?
Yeah.
I mean, that's you, Sean. That's you.
I
Yeah.
Or
believe
you
got a
that
shot.
shoulder in the door. Yeah.
Pella
try
and
bust
Arya,
it open.
Pella and Arya both have 3 force.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not me.
The door doesn't open inward, so you'll have a lot of trouble breaking it in. It opens out towards the main office floor.
Shoot the lock out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a shotgun job.
We could,
Yeah. So Sean's like, "Oh, I could do that." Just walks up and just blasts.
It's
Hello,
so
we're here.
loud. It's so loud, and there's shot ricocheting everywhere. There's shrapnel, and as you do this, you remember somewhere in the back of your head once hearing of the concept of a breaching round, and wondering if that was indeed what was in the shotgun. You nonetheless blow the lock to smithereens and are able to pull the door open.
Huh?
We'll pull the door
What?
open rather cautiously, because we didn't see the other dudes come out of that other elevator, right?
Correct. You have not seen anyone else.
So yeah, we probably should have someone keep an eye on the other elevator.
Yeah, Arya, you were a good shot with your gun, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. Can you keep an eye on that elevator?
Sure.
I mean, if it doesn't open in like a minute, it's probably good, but then it's probably all in front of us and not behind us.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any branding in this? All is it just like blank office space again?
It is super blank, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck with this place.
Well, are
Well,
you guys going through the door?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Kick it open.
The door.
All right. Well, when you kick it
Shout,
open,
here's.
what's that?
Well, it's not.
Who says we enter like shout? Here's Johnny.
Yeah.
All right, you guys yank it open and go in, and you see, it actually looks like it was built to be like the break room or something. Like it's bigger than an office. Maybe it was the conference room. Regardless, it's not being used for that now. Instead, what you see is the lady who came out and looked at you guys. 4 other men with weapons on, well, with belts and where there would be weapons, but they're not currently geared up. And you see Matt tied to a chair and bleeding.
Matt.
And he says, "No, I won't tell you." And you can see actually his laptop is here, and it is open, and it is still on the password screen.
Without hesitation, I will shoot.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a force roll.
Four.
Okay. Yeah, one of them drops. Did you shoot the lady or one of the guys?
One of the guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
All right. Sean, you want to do anything?
Yeah, he's gonna shoot the shotgun towards one of the guys that's clearly because I'm assuming, like, I don't know if you described her. I'm assuming she's like in business attire, like a suit.
Yeah, she is. I didn't describe her, but that's correct.
Okay, I don't know why I visualized that. So I'm gonna shoot one of the guys in tactical gear.
Okay.
Let's see how this goes.
Bloop, I heard it roll.
Yeah. So again, the fun part is I have a force of 0, so or focus of 0. But I did get a positive 1 result though.
Okay, well you hit one of them. He is injured and out of the fight, but not dead.
Okay.
Pella, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna are these guys armed?
They're not currently armed. Like they have their uniforms
They have
on.
belts, but there's no guns in them.
They're correct. Like their guns have been put down somewhere. They're at home right now. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, Pella's just gonna literally she wants to step forward and go, on the ground now.
Do you have a weapon? You gave your shotgun away.
I mean, I have a pistol, but
Okay.
I mean, one of my companions just shot some dude dead, and my other companion took incapacitated another guy.
Well, let's have you make a flare. I call that flare.
Can show him my boomstick.
Shit. Give me just a sec, because I want to see if I can leverage anything to help me with this. 95. Oh, it's so nice having a PDF where the index pages correlate to the actual pages in the PDF.
Yeah.
Okay, blah, 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 blah. Stunts. So, are fate points just for invoking aspects and using stunts?
I think so.
Okay. Well, then I just got a straight roll here.
Okay.
My dice have been rolling real bad. 0.
Okay, they don't listen to you. They keep fighting. In fact, one of them is going to charge at probably Arya. So, blank. Arya, he's getting a 4 on force against you. You should probably roll a defense.
Which is what, haste, I think, to dodge?
Haste, you said?
Yeah. Where did I saw it somewhere.
I don't know what haste would be, but just, yeah, it's a normal roll of 4, and you tell me what you would, what approach you would use to defend yourself against an unarmed man charging you.
I was going to say, could I not use force in return to do like a, basically a sidestep and then hit him with the butt end of the rifle as he came by?
Yes, you can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see why not.
So yeah, haste was for dodging a shot. That's what it said.
Okay.
That's a big 0.
Okay, then he is going to hit you. Now, here's where we try to figure out. Okay, so you don't achieve your objectives, or you do it at a serious cost. So this is the thing I was worried about. Someone taking damage.
So it says if you fail on a defense, either harms you or creates an advantage against you.
Okay, when an opponent successfully attacks, you take damage equal to your opponent's shifts, which were 4. So you mark off enough stress and or conditions to completely absorb the hit and stay in the fight. And if you can't, then you are taken out of action for a while.
Well, I can take it.
All right.
I feel the air rush out, and I kind of make that hut sound to absorb the blow, but I feel a rib crack in the process.
Okay, so there were 4 of these guys. One is dead, one is injured, the other has just attacked Arya, so the 4th one is going for Sean.
All right.
And he gets... he gets a -2. He completely whiffs it.
Nice.
We'll do another round here. Arya, what would you like to do next?
The one that just jumped me, since he's like there with me, I will drop the gun and then like go for like a neck choke and twist.
Okay, let's do force for you and defense for him. Oh,
That's a 4.
yeah, you have got this guy. He had a -3. So you have 7 shifts on him. He's done. He's done.
You're the sickening crack of his neck. Right?
Yeah, oh boy. Sean, what are you doing? A guy just tried to hit you and missed.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So right now we're in physical combat.
Yes. You do
All
still
right.
have the shotgun,
Okay.
but he's unarmed.
Yeah. Well, I'm imagining. Well, I don't know. Is this like a pump shotgun with multiple rounds, or was it a double-barreled?
No, it's like it's a pump shotgun.
Oh, okay. Although I'm not really good at aiming because that's focus. Yeah, I'm just gonna try and hit him in the head with, as he tried to fight me. I'm just gonna try and bring up the butt of the shotgun into his face.
Okay.
Would it be a force roll?
Yep.
See if I have a better. And I got 1 success.
That beats his 0.
Oh, jeez. So, but it's only 1 pip of.
Yeah. And Pella, what will you do now? The lady is still here. She has, clearly wants to get out, but you guys are blocking the door. So it's just her and this one guy that Sean is fighting that are left.
All right, you know what? I am ridiculously unworried about this guy Sean is fighting.
Okay.
And I'm going to advance. I want to advance on this lady and just be like, hey, like, I get it. You know, I'm 6 foot something. I got guns for days. I'm not very intimidating. But hey, your dudes aren't doing so well. You guys aren't doing so well here. So maybe just sit your butt down.
Humanity will never bow to you. You will die first.
Shit.
No. You sold out. You live with the monsters.
Honey, I didn't sell out. I just bought in.
It's because of you they will destroy us. But you don't understand the power of people once they know.
Yeah. The riddle of steel and all that shit and the power of flesh. I smack her one.
Okay.
Just to shut up her bullshit for a minute.
Okay.
Nice.
There will always be those who oppose you.
Honey, I'm lower middle. Like my family's lower middle class. I got a nice place, but I don't have the most legitimate means of income. There's always going to be people opposing me. So who the fuck are you?
We are the ones who bump back. She says, obviously quoting Hellboy.
Oh, okay, well, that's really cute, Darkwing Duck. Is there any other, is there another exit out of this room?
No.
Okay, well, was I able to get her to actually sit down?
She had backed herself into a corner, backing away from you. So,
Okay.
I mean, there's really nothing to sit down on other than the floor. So I'll say she's still up at this point.
Okay. Well, so here's the deal. You can talk to us and, maybe actually walk out of this building, or there's a whole pack of wolves downstairs that are, you know what? they could be on their way up here right now. And I could just let them eat you and have no qualms about it. So maybe talk to me. Name names.
I'd rather die than sell out my fellow human beings to monsters.
Yeah, I kind of figured you'd say that. I want to gag her. Is there something I can gag her with?
I mean, you could probably find something.
I can make a makeshift gag to shut her up.
Yeah, but there is still a fight happening here.
Yeah.
No, that's...
So, Arya, you have finished your last opponent. Do you want to help Sean with this guy?
Feeling a little confident, I look around the room and are there any donuts in here?
No, no, there are no
No.
tables to put the donuts on.
Okay, I was gonna throw a donut at the bad guy to distract him for Sean's sake. So since he seems preoccupied with Sean, I will pull out my machete and step up and just hack into the guy from behind.
Okay, give me a force roll.
That is brutal. I like it.
Ooh, that's a 5.
Oh.
He's gone. He doesn't get a defense because he's distracted by Sean and doesn't see you coming. You have killed him. So now it's just that woman that Pella is trying to tie up. And,
Yeah, I want to find and gag this lady. I mean, guys, let's get Matt somewhere not this dangerous.
Yeah.
Find a fire exit and get out of here.
Who knows what those werewolves will do once they're done with those guys. So, yeah, you guys are able to get Matt out. He can walk a little bit. He's not super conscious, but he's like half conscious. So with help, he can support his own weight, and you guys can get him out of here. We'll say that you are able to easily go down the opposite elevator from where you left the werewolves and get out without seeing them.
Well,
And a laptop.
What's
Is
that,
there
Pella?
any, sorry.
Oh,
he wants to grab the laptop.
okay. And Arya?
Was there just a quick cursory look at the reception desk, if there's any like documentation to snag?
I mean, there's stuff here. People work here, but like, how much time do you want to spend on going through it to see what's worth
Just,
it?
if there's a notebook or 2 or 3, just grab them.
Okay. Yeah, you can do
Run.
that. You guys are able to exit the building.
Please.
And you get Matt back somewhere safe. Upon questioning him, you learn that it indeed was these armed men who broke into his apartment. He has no idea why someone would have licked the blood or why anyone would have drained the bodies. And that perhaps will be a mystery that remains unsolved. But with the notebooks that you swiped, Arya, you're able to deduce that this was exactly what it looked like. Someone with a lot of money has been paying to have monsters exterminated, and it is sort of a cultish type of situation, where they believe that they are doing humanity a favor by saving everyone from these horrible monsters and magic users. But for today, at least, you guys have won the day and gotten the best of them. And as you drive away from the building in your vehicles, you do not want to think about what the werewolves are doing to that poor woman that you left tied up in there.
Well, I was thinking of bringing her with us, like trying to bring her with us.
Did you do that?
I kind of wanted to, because I figured maybe we had some kind of contact that could, be less consensual about getting information from her.
I'm gonna say she would fight you. She wouldn't go willingly, so it would be very
Oh, no,
hard to get
that's-
her out in the time that you had.
Okay.
Um,
If she was gonna be too much trouble, yeah, fucking leave her.
yeah,
well, and
that
I
is-
think too, like, is if I'm not mistaken, magic in this world is such like you're not allowed to mess with people's minds and stuff like that, right?
yeah. If you do that, you are. If you do that and you're found out, you're executed by the White Council.
Yeah. So we can't necessarily take her to like a magical interrogator either.
Yeah, there's no such thing, at least not publicly.
Ah.
We were gonna do it publicly.
Well,
Above the board.
the thing is, there's a reason the White Council has those rules and they're so strict, because there's certain types of black magic that once you do them, they become addictive, and over a long enough time span, you basically become an evil necromancer no matter what. It's because when you do it, it messes with your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kind of reading about that. Like when you transform someone, it messes with their minds and
Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway,
Okay.
well done, guys. You
Yeah.
you got
Yay.
through, and you rescued Matt.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, that was cool. Did we
Welcome
miss any clues early on, like at the first apartment that we should have?
No, here's what I was going for, and it's strictly a time thing that I think we didn't get to explore it enough. The homeless guy outside Starbucks was Black Court.
Okay, that's my guess. All right,
Yeah.
so I was
Yeah.
right.
The Black Court came to Matt's place after the door was broken in, and but it was they came looking for the Paranet because they thought it was the Paranet that hit them.
Yeah.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah.
That fits.
So that's where I was going with all that, but we filled 3 hours without it. So
Yeah. No. But and I was kind of thinking along those lines that it was sort of a tit for tat sort of thing. And
yeah, that's what it was.
cool. No, it
We
was
just kind of sidestepped it.
Yeah. What it was those 3 people that you found dead. They arrived after the door was broken down too. Matt had already been taken when they showed up for the meeting, and then the Black Court found them.
Gotcha.
Anyway, yeah, that's all for tonight. Thank you guys for playing. So for the viewers, there's going to be a game Friday, but next Monday and next Friday and the following Monday will be off because I'm doing some traveling.
Yay.
But I'll see everyone Friday, and I'll see you guys the next time you are signed up for a game.
Awesome.
Yes,
everyone.
you will. Because I think